Oxenfree is a supernatural thriller about a group of friends who unwittingly open a ghostly rift. Or at least that's what the Steam description says. But in all honesty, this game plays more like a 2D adventure game mixed with a conversation simulator. Now, if you're someone who graphics are important to, turn away now. I already stated the game is 2D, and no matter how charming it is, I know some gamers just need the absolute best. Well, you won't find that here. The sounds, though, the ambience and all the effects, they're amazing at helping to set the mood in every scene of this game. Unfortunately, the soundtrack itself can be very out of place in the case of about half the tracks in this game.
Ren must have used this to call us.
Oh, it looks smashed.
The soundtrack is definitely one of the best things in this game at ruining a player's immersion and breaking the spooky mood that everything else helps to set so perfectly. It's not a bad soundtrack, it just doesn't fit the thriller theme the devs were going for about half the time. The gameplay, the biggest part of this game, is, in a word, amazing. Now, your first impressions might not be the best. Mine weren't. But if you stick through the game for at least 20 minutes, you'll find it just gets better and better. Throughout this whole game, you only really do two things. Firstly, you walk around the very charmingly designed landscapes, scaling terrain and exploring branching paths while encountering things that are interesting.
Dinner time. It's never too late to make dessert. Not anymore.
What the hell is this?
Do you want to play a game?
Secondly, you talk. Most of this game involves talking. Oxenfree is 100% voice acted. Every single person in your merry band of companions speaks, and they speak a lot. Even better, they speak realistically. The conversations keep going and they feel like genuine conversations that someone would have if they were in your shoes. It's the most amazing conversation simulation I have ever seen in a game, but also the worst. It's the worst because most of the time, whenever you choose to speak, you immediately interrupt whoever was talking and then you never get to know what they were going to say. And if you try to wait to hear what they have to say, you miss your chance to speak, since your options are usually on a timer, and that timer usually expires before the person finishes their sentence. And trust me, you do not want to miss speaking in this game. Your choices of words, or lack thereof, and how much you pay attention to the persons that address you is vital. Your ending is entirely based on the choices of words you make. And yes, this game has multiple endings. One more negative about the gameplay, though, is that the pathfinding of your friends can sometimes be laughable at best. The story of this game is fantastic. The amount of choices and the amount of responses is overwhelming. The game itself is so immersive and the characters so believable that this game constantly pulled at my emotions. The top-notch voice acting really added to that. If I had a certain reaction in real life, my character would have a far more believable reaction than I did. It's amazing. The horror as you lose someone, the joy as you're reunited, and the anger as things don't go your way. Oxenfree is only 4 hours long if you take your time like I did. Even faster if you rush through it. But in those 4 hours, it managed to deliver the best story that I have experienced so far in 2017. And that's not just because it's only February, it's also because it's just that damn good. Oxenfree doesn't seem to support a proper full-screen setting. more of a windowed full screen mode, which is a bummer if you prefer full screen, which tends to be more optimized and gives you more FPS, even though it's not really a problem in this game. It's a good thing to note. It's also a bummer if you run certain software that requires full screen. I, for one, had to record my desktop and not a game window just to get footage of this game. It's an inconvenience, and more so if you run advanced synchronization settings that don't like windowed full screen. Overall, though, Oxenfree is the best game I have played so far this year. It has some very annoying issues, but also some amazing strengths, and I just loved it. As it stands, I have to give Oxenfree an 8 out of 10. It is a great game and a very unique one. Unfortunately, its issues hold it back from being the 9 out of 10 that I want to give it. And in addition, I just want to repeat, this is a 4-hour game. They are charging $20 for it at full price. Is $5 per hour of gameplay a good deal to you? In gaming in general, $5 per hour is usually unthinkable. It's way too much for what you're getting. Even if what you're getting is quality, the ratio is still just bad. $1 per hour is on average the highest you see, and this is 5 times that. While I do not recommend you buying this game at such a high price for what you're getting, I do recommend you buy this the moment it goes on a reasonable sale. This game is a gem, and I don't think it's one anybody should miss. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you on the next review.
You think you can control me?